What's going on, YouTube? Debonair D, man. Let me start off the video by saying Happy New Year's Eve to everybody, man. I may not make another video before the New Year's. So, Happy New Year's to all my subscribers. I appreciate you guys for a year full of growth on my channel. Lots of positivity. I really appreciate all of you guys. And I've been getting a lot of comments recently. People been, hold on, let me scoot this back so you can see me a little bit better. Yeah, but a lot of people have been asking me for my social media. Honestly, I've just been forgetting to put it in my bios. But if you want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram name, the username is the number 1. So 1 Debonair, just like on my YouTube channel. D, all 1 Debonair D. 1 Debonair D. My Snapchat, if you want to, follow me on Snapchat for whatever reason. It's USEENFAB, Useem Fab. Now, if you're a male, which majority of you are, I won't be adding you back, man. I don't want to see guys on Snapchat. No disrespect to any of y'all. So now that I got that out the way, man, I've been getting some different comments over the past few weeks on some of my other semen retention videos. People have been asking me, man, Debonair, bro, how do you not have wet dreams? Because you've said in your videos that you've never had a wet dream. But I constantly have wet dreams. I've been retaining for a week. I've been retaining for 2 months, 6 months, a year, but I can never get rid of those wet dreams. And people have also been asking me, when I have a wet dream, does that like impede my progress? Does it erase all of my progress? Does it count as a relapse? So I want to, dive into all of that today and just give you guys a little bit of insight on my opinion and also what I know to be fact about the subject. Now, first and foremost, we have to think about what causes wet dreams. Why do we have wet dreams? Now, you have to understand that the body, the male human body, I couldn't spit that out, produces semen. We all know this. If you have a healthy reproductive system, you produce semen. That semen is used to impregnate women, to reproduce, okay? Now, at a young age, some younger than others, but at a young age, we learn to trick our bodies into ejaculating by, doing it manually. We masturbate. Some people started around 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All around that time, we've started tricking our bodies into manually releasing this precious semen, this precious liquid that our body produces. And it takes a lot of minerals, a lot of vitamins, and a lot of energy to produce semen. And we've tricked our bodies from a very young age to ejaculate and basically expel all of that precious liquid, right? So if you're 25 years old and you've been masturbating since 12 years old, your body has already, it's actually spent more time ejaculating than it hasn't. You know what I'm saying? If you made it 12 years without doing it at all because you were a child, you weren't probably really producing semen, you hadn't gone through puberty, and then you spend the next 13 years ejaculating on a frequent basis, you've spent more time ejaculating in your lifetime than you haven't. So of course it's going to be a habit, not just on your conscious, on a conscious effort, but also on a subconscious effort that your body is going to want to get rid of that semen every so often. That's why a lot of people have wet dreams every single day. They have them every 3 days, every week, because their body has been accustomed to not going longer than a certain amount of time before having to get rid of that semen and start making some new semen. So now that you understand exactly why we have wet dreams, let me also explain this to you guys. I see a lot of different people, and this is where a lot of the people in the NoFap community and the semen retention community have a little bit of a rift. A lot of people in the NoFap community say, look, it's okay if you have wet dreams. It's not anything that you necessarily did wrong. Your body is just healing. Your body's trying to get used to doing this. Don't worry about it. Don't count it as a relapse. Just keep on going along. You didn't do anything wrong. Just keep pushing forward. But people in the semen retention community, of course, there's varying opinions, but for the most part, people in the semen retention community are disappointed when they have a wet dream because they know that they could have prevented it had they taken the necessary preemptive measures to, just to completely prevent it at all. So you have to figure out first and foremost what your goals are. It's not a relapse if you're on NoFap, because if you're on NoFap, you never actually made the conscious effort to stop ejaculating. You just said, I'm not gonna jack off anymore. So if you have a wet dream or some girl performs some sexual favor on you, have sex, whatever the case is, it's all good. But for people who are consciously practicing semen retention, it's a very big deal because you're trying your very best to retain as much semen as possible and to produce as much semen as possible so you can get all of the benefits. That's why people in semen retention practice certain meditative um, exercises, and they eat all these different foods, and they have this certain mindset. They're trying to produce as much semen as possible and retain all of it. So before you even start thinking about wet dreams, you have to figure out, which group am I a part of? Am I somebody who's practicing NoFap, or am I somebody who's practicing semen retention? Now that I've got that out the way, we're not even going to really talk about the NoFappers. Now, if you want to stay along and figure out how to prevent them anyway, that's fine. But as far as for the people in semen retention, once you've made that conscious decision that I am practicing semen retention, I want to retain as much semen as possible for as long as possible, you have to beat that into your subconscious mind. It's one thing to think it consciously, but you have to subconsciously believe it. And it's not hard to convince yourself of something consciously, but you have to subconsciously believe the things that are coming out of your mouth. You have to subconsciously believe the thoughts in your head. And I'll give you guys a perfect example. Back in August, when I was starting this new streak that I'm on right now, my streak of over 4 months, I decided to do my streak a little bit different than the last time. Because if you guys go back and you check out my semen retention playlist, which I highly encourage you guys to do for all the new people, or maybe you're not new, but you've never checked it out, check out my whole playlist, man. It's on my channel. But on my last streak that lasted 7 months, 6 or 7 months, I went about 3.5 months doing nothing. I was just completely celibate, no porn, of course, no edging, completely pure. And then after about 3.5 months, I decided to go ahead and start having sex again, but still retain. But this time around, at first I was saying, okay, man, I'm not starting from the same point I was last time, and I know what I'm capable of. What I'm going to do this time is I'm just going to I'm going to keep having sex, because I was having sex over the summer when I wasn't on anything. And I said, I'm going to continue to have sex, but what I'm going to do is I'm just not going to come, and I'm just going to carry out on my streak, as usual. And I had sex with 3 girls in August, back to back to back. Each week I had sex with one girl, a new girl that I had never done anything with. And the first time didn't really count because I wasn't really focused on starting the semen retention streak, but I came with her. And then the second girl, at that point, I was on about 5 days. I was on 5 days when I went over to her crib. I went to her house and we had sex for about an hour and a half. And, she wanted me to come. Girls start begging you to come and all of that goddamn shit. And I lost control. I allowed myself to come. And I wasn't too beat up about it because I was only on about day 5. And I think I had edged a little bit. Well, I did edge it for a few days before I went over there. So it wasn't a clean streak. It wasn't a big deal that I came. That's why I kind of almost in a way let myself lose control. But I'm saying all that to say, your mindset is everything. At that particular time, I had told myself that I was going to start a new streak, and I thought I was starting a new streak, but obviously I still had some blockages in my subconscious mind that prevented me from actually carrying out that streak. Because if it was concrete in my subconscious mind like it is right now, like it was back on the 5th month of my last streak or the 6th month of my last streak, it wouldn't have mattered what I had been doing before. It wouldn't have mattered what I did, what she said. I wouldn't have allowed myself to lose control like that. If you can lose control, you haven't fully beat the natural inclination, because I'm not trying to make you guys feel like you're weak-minded or you're not serious about this if you still allow yourself to lose control and relapse and have wet dreams, because, truth be told, practicing this is one of the hardest things you can do as a man, because it's a natural inclination to ejaculate. It's a natural bodily function. That's almost like it's not as bad, but that's like trying to tell somebody not to talk for the rest of their life. We have a mouth and vocal cords for a reason, you know what I'm saying? So it's going to take a lot of time, a lot of practice, and a lot of finding yourself, a lot of introspection and meditation to actually get that into your subconscious mind. So, don't feel like you're weak-minded if you can't do it. But you know, like I said, back at that time, I thought I was on track. I thought I was on a good little streak. I thought I wasn't gonna slip up. But after an hour and a half of fucking, damn near 2 hours, I lost control. I lost control because she was begging me to, and you know, subconsciously my brain still wanted to do it. My conscious mind didn't want to. My conscious mind was a little bit disappointed after I did it. I was sitting there like, man, I can't believe I just did that shit. I was on 5 days. I even texted my cousin because he practiced the semen retention too, man. I was like, man, bro, I fucked around and busted a nut fucking with this bitch, man. I was disappointed, but my subconscious mind was satisfied because that's what it wanted. So it's going to take a lot of meditation, man. It's going to take a lot of practice, and you have to really, really, really talk to yourself. Tell yourself that I am going to retain my semen. And I really think that's something that a lot of people in this community don't really, really, really push the way that they should. Sure, there's a lot of different tips and tricks you can do to prevent wet dreams. You know, not sleeping. I think some people say not to sleep naked. Some people say they don't have wet dreams when they sleep naked. You know, everybody's reproductive system is different. Everybody's mind is wired different. Everybody's immune system, digestive system. We're all very different creatures, but we're all very similar. So I've also seen people like Gabe Dog. I know he's a vegetarian, and he talks about eating raw fruits and vegetables and no meats, no animal products will prevent you or will at least minimize the chance of you having a wet dream. I eat meat every day. I eat eggs every day. I don't too much agree with that. I know a lot of people that eat a lot of protein and fats from animal products that don't have any problems, but everybody is different. Some people might eat a steak and can't control themselves afterwards, but some people can eat 5 steaks a day and be completely fine. Everybody's tolerance is different. Everybody's very different. So instead of focusing on the little tips and tricks, those should be bonuses. Those should be something that just you supplement into your daily routine just to help you out a little bit more. But 99% of this journey, man, is going to come from inside here. It's going to come from your brain. It's going to come from your subconscious effort. It's going to come from your heart. Is your heart pure? You know what I'm saying? Because at that time, I thought my heart was pure. I thought I was right on track. I was like, man, I'm 5 days in. I done already, you know what I'm saying? I got these girls lined up. I'm about to fuck them. I'm about to, you know what I'm saying? I'm on track. That second girl, hour and a half in, and the whole time, I'm fucking like usual. I'm fucking the dog shit out of her. I thought everything was cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, I'm about to fuck this girl for, you know, just until I get tired of fucking her, and I'm just not gonna come as usual. I'm good. Hour and a half in, I lost control and I ejaculated. But the third girl I fucked about 5 days after, no, was it 5 days? Saturday, Sunday. It was 4 days afterwards. I fucked that one girl on a Friday. I had sex with the next girl on a Tuesday. That girl I fucked that Tuesday, we fucked for like 30 minutes. I had to go to class. But we fucked for 30 minutes and I didn't ejaculate. I didn't even have the urge to ejaculate because after that experience on Friday, that whole weekend, I took the time, man. I didn't go out. I hardly played any music, man. I just took some time to just read and meditate and just think, you know, just spiritually project my mind to just think, where do I want to be in 6 months from now? Where do I want to be a month from now? Where do I want to be tomorrow? And I started making all these different changes in my mind, and I figured out what triggered me to lose control Friday. How am I going to change that? What caused me to lose control? And how am I going to prevent it from happening again? How can I go into this next experience I got planned on Tuesday with a different mindset? Because consciously, I feel the same. I didn't notice a difference in my conscious effort, but I said, how do I change what's going on in my subconscious mind? How can I change what's going on in my subconscious mind? So I practiced some affirmations and I really just convinced myself. I just kept saying it over and over and over. I cannot lose control. I know I have a lot of willpower. I know I'm the motherfucking man. So how am I going to keep my body from doing what it wants to do and I start making it do what I want to do, not what it wants to do? How do I control my own body? How do I become a master of myself physically, emotionally, mentally, and even spiritually? How do I purify myself? And after I did all of that in just a short weekend, man, because like I said, that was a Friday morning. And I went over to the last girl's house, the third girl. I went over to her crib on a Tuesday morning. So it wasn't even, I think it was barely just 96 hours. But I had a great time with her and I didn't come at all. Didn't even think about coming. And I ended up just restarting my streak because it wasn't right. But that's besides the point. After that third time, just in that short amount of period from that second time to that third time, I fully transformed my subconscious mind. So that's what you guys have to do, man. That's how you prevent these wet dreams. You have to fully convince your subconscious mind. And, I've never had a wet dream, but I've been very close a few times in my life. There's been times where I've been having dreams, semi-lucid dreams, and my dreams have always been semi-lucid. I could probably be a lucid dreamer if I really worked at it, but I really don't care. But I've been having very sexual dreams before, man, and I've been fucking some girl, and it's been escalating or whatever, and you can feel it. You can feel it. You can feel yourself in the dream about to come, and there's been times where I've woken myself up and said, "No, I can't go there. Stop." And I've woken myself up out the dream, or sometimes even in the dream, I don't wake up, but I tell that girl, man, "No, I can't come. I got too much to lose." Or maybe I don't say it out loud in a dream, but I say it in my mind in the dream. So, but the reason why I'm able to do that is because my subconscious mind is so just hell bent on not coming anymore. I fully convinced my mind to not associate sex, not to associate lust and all these different lascivious thoughts with ejaculating at the end. I fully transformed my subconscious mind. And it took a lot of meditation. It took a lot of practice. And the reason why, because the guy who commented last about it, he was like, "Man, I exercise, but it doesn't really help." The reason why I push exercise so much is because exercise can give your body some of the same benefits, some of the same feelings as meditation does. They can be two very different things, but you can also align them and put them in the same practices. You can be exercising and meditating at the same time, especially if you're just walking with no music or going on a light jog or something like that. You could be meditating at the same time. When I'm boxing, I don't use any music, man, and I'm going into a flow state. I'm practically not even there mentally. I'm in my subconscious mind at that point. I'm in that flow state. So engaging in all these different practices, it's not as good as meditating. It's not as good as doing all your affirmations and eating healthy and all of that. But it's definitely going to help kind of just distract your body and get rid of some of that energy. And even small things like stretching, man. I've talked about this before in the past, especially on my last streak. I think another reason why I've been very successful with semen retention. Yeah, somebody was at my door earlier, but yeah, what I was getting ready to say was I think also another reason why I've been able to maintain uh, dryness and not have wet dreams, and also been able to just alleviate a lot of that tension down in that pelvic region is because I do a lot of stretching. I've noticed a direct correlation in my ability to last for a very long time, the amount of tension and urges I have, just overall getting rid of all that energy with the amount of stretching that I do, specifically stretching that stretches out that pelvic region. So one of the very best ways to stretch out your pelvic floor is to do squats, just a really deep ass to grass squat all the way down. And when you squat all the way down, it really stretches the hell out of your pelvic floor, and it's going to release a lot of that tension. And this is also a valuable tool for people who struggle with premature ejaculation, or maybe you didn't used to have premature ejaculation, but you've been uh, abstaining from sex for a long time. You've been retaining your semen, and now you're scared to have sex because you feel like you're not going to be able to last too long. But if you're doing a lot of different stretches, your squats, and then once you build up to being able to do front splits and the frog stance and all these different advanced stretches, man, you're going to really be in the money because it really just alleviates the tension in that muscle. It alleviates the tension in the area. So all in all, man, in conclusion, just to conclude this video, you want to implement a lot of different strategies, tips, and tricks to keep you from having these wet dreams, man. So physically, you want to exercise, you want to take time to meditate, you want to eat better food, get more sleep, perhaps start looking at the different patterns that cause you to have wet dreams. Some people can't sleep naked at first. Some people can't sleep with clothes on. I sleep both ways and I've never noticed a difference. But you know, start implementing all those different physical strategies. Um, but most importantly, man, you have to change your subconscious. You have to work on what's going on in your mind mentally. You have to work on what's going on in your subconscious mind, not just your conscious mind. And if you implement all these different strategies, I promise you, you will start to see a difference. You will start to see a change. And not just will you not have wet dreams anymore, but the amount of benefits that you receive from just practicing semen retention as a whole will increase. So I appreciate y'all, you guys watching as always. Don't forget to leave a like and comment down below and tell me if this video helped you. Peace.